audio? Okay, give me a sec. Let me start the sim.
Hi, I'm Matt from Interformula, and welcome to our Research and Development Centre. We do all forms of research and development, all the way from designing and developing our own race cars, to simulators, to running cars in racing series and rallying all over the world. We also do a lot in the Asian Classic Car Championship, so do look out for us. For any information, do contact us with the number down below.
Good evening, everybody. Today welcome to the live stream of Adrenaline Impact iRacing Malaysia Championship for round 4. Today we'll be having Chan Wei Han and Matthew Palmer. Soon they'll be joining the Discord server for commentaries, and we will be recapping what happened during the last round 3. At Lime Rock Park. So as you can see, guys, there's a poster here. There's this is the round 4 poster. So let me brief about this race tonight. It will be a 60-minute practice, which is going on right now. It's 30 minutes past, and it will be followed by 15 minutes of qualifying and a 45-minute race, semi-endurance, I might say. So Wei Han, are you there?
Hi, yes, I'm around here. Yeah.
Hi, welcome. So did you manage to get any dinner before?
Oh yes, in fact, yeah, I just had some dinner. I just reached home not too long ago. I got some dinner. Yeah, got a bit of nice, quite nice dinner. Actually, no, my mom cooked dinner, so it was very nice.
Yeah, nice. So okay, let's just recap for round 3. Can you just recap for us?
Yes. So if memory serves me right, we had quite a hectic race at the Lime Rock Park last Sunday at this time, and of course I think we had Ilham who won last race.
Ilham got P1, and coincidentally he just joined Todak Motorsport team, so it helped a lot for this team points. And he did. P2 was Shaiful Arifin for Android King SSAD, and third was Kelvin De Singh from SRE Team A. So we'll just glaze through these results because we're going to go to introduce the practice session. Here are, can you see the graphics here?
Oh yes, I can see. Yeah, so this is the championship standings as it stands at this point. We have come to round 4, so this is the cumulative results from rounds 1 to 3. So Ilham Halibi leads the table with 80 points, and Ahmad Norizam is actually not that far behind. He's with 74 points and he's in second. Saiful Arifin in third and he's got 67 points. So these are three of the among the faster drivers, some of the top drivers from all of Malaysia, in fact. I've also got Jaiswin Jali, another fast one, who is with 58 points. He is in fourth, and he's also tied with Wicked, also 58 points. He is in fifth, and we've also got the rest of the drivers from 6th through to 10th. Now, of course, we do remember that the participation in this iRacing Malaysia Championship by Adrenaline Impact is quite big. You know, in fact, we've enjoyed participation numbers going all the way up to 50 plus, even 60 at one point. So this is quite effectively kind of the top few percentage of the drivers that you had just seen on that
that was
table.
only the top 10. I think around 20% of the overall
Yes,
overall guys
that's
there.
very tight. Yeah, that's very tight battle. I think it's not easy to find a league with such big participation, and it's all good, especially with this kind of racing. And this is the team standings, of course, as opposed to driver standings. We should have all the teams on this table.
Yeah, all teams are there.
Yeah, and it's being led by the
Auto House.
the team standings. Yes, yes, thank you. It's led by Auto House FC Performance, 113 points, and we've also got Speed Heaven Malaysia with 89 points. They sit at second, and Uncle Racing Team. Their uncles, but they are fast. They are up in third. Well, so we've got another fast team, SSAD Go Racing, who are in fourth, and we've got the rest of the teams as they stand. So, Kyril, the team standings, right? The points, are they based on the combination of the top 2 or 3 scorers of each team, or are they the combination of all the points?
These are only selected for the top 3 performers of if there were to be a 5-member team. We will only take 3 points of the best scoring drivers, and they will be populated into the total. So okay, let's go on to wait I missed this. Okay, so we're having right now we're having qualifying, pre-practice. So let me shut down my presentation there. Okay, over to you. Right now we're into 40 minutes of practice with 20 more minutes of time left, and surprisingly the server went full in less than 2 minutes.
Wow! Wow! Is that real? Oh, that's really awesome, man. Yeah, we've got such a huge field here tonight.
Yeah, it was, I think, due to limitations of track. That was, I anticipated this to happen. It was a limitation of the track slots. I think it's up to only 42 for this Laguna Seca. So what we'll do is maybe we'll try to improvise in maybe do a bit more correction on maybe improvisation on the formats of race. Maybe we're trying to give everybody a fair chance to enter. And yeah, we know it's a struggle to get in within 2 minutes time. 40 plus people trying to enter the server.
Well, I'm sure, Kyril, I'm sure that's a happy problem that the league is facing, right? Isn't it? You've always got the demand, and I think it does go to show that this is in fact a very, very well organized competition.
Yeah. So I think I'll leave it to you. We'll just go one by one, starting from Nigel.
Yeah, so this is Nigel Chua. His lap time is 1:39.962. Of course, one of 2 drivers. Wow, it does look like Nigel and Farid's lap times, they're all exactly the same, 1:39.962. It's very rare that you have such close lap times. Yeah, both of them.
Exactly, yeah. Up to the thousands of seconds.
Yes, between both drivers. Wow, that is so close. Yeah. I would suppose Nigel Chua is from Team Speed Heaven in that lime and blue MX5. I think I've seen quite a few of their paint schemes around. Very nice. And yeah, this is your fastest driver. But of course, we're still in practice. We've got some time. We've still got some time to go before qualifying begins. So, although this is not qualifying, this oftentimes this does kind of provide a good indication of the pace of each driver going forward.
Yeah, for your information, this the track time for this event is in the morning time. I think around 7ish, 8ish starts. So they might use the cooler temps for getting better times. Maybe up to 1:38, I guess, or maybe low 1:39s.
Possible. Yeah, I think what's really interesting is in iRacing, you know, as long as the track is not too cold, you know, the cooler the track is, generally you find that your lap times will usually be a little bit faster. That's a bit different from, I guess, some other, like in real life, where, you know, sometimes you need to get a bit of a higher temperature on the track in order to get a good lap time. But of course, you know, you don't want to heat the tires up too much. You want to try to keep the tires happy, and the cool track does kind of do that do that to a favor of tires. So this is Farid. He is in second, like I just said, 1:39.96, so this very fast lap time, and he is, yeah, I don't think he's been able to beat his previous lap time. So, you know, you've got these two drivers. These are two of the drivers that we should watch out for, perhaps later on as we move towards qualifying. Then we've also got Kelvinder Singh, who is in third.
Yeah.
He is unfortunately not in 1:39. He is 1:40.090.
Yeah.
And you know, I kind of remember Kelvinder as you know, the one of the more vibrant personalities. You know, when he raced in Sim Racers Asia. Sorry if I just plugged it in, but yeah, as I observed him racing, you know, I find that he was one of the more interesting personalities, and I think it's very much the same here at this iRacing Malaysia Championship. So definitely another driver to look out for, and he does live stream as well.
Yeah,
so
I enjoy watching his streams. He's very interactive with the viewers, and he gives very much information about knowledge about cars. He's very knowledgeable on almost all of the cars that he's driven, and he's also an avid musician.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, have you seen him play? He's very good.
I have to go and see. I have to go and watch one day, man. I'll very much like to.
Yeah, something cool though. He starts his stream with a song. He's playing. He records a song, a 3-minute song, for the countdown for his guys, his followers, his fans to enjoy. So that's a good way to promote his music.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, definitely by many means, one of the drivers to also look out for. Yeah, you can even see his own logo along on the door of his car. Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Now we move to Jaisrin, JJ,
Yeah.
as I think he's known. He's in fourth. You know, I personally, you know, I think I've seen Jaisrin race for quite some time already. I think every time I get to call his action, it's always, you know, it's always something. It's always something nice that will always bring to the show, in a sense. You know, you'll always be able to expect good racing from him. You'll always be able to expect, you know, fast racing, competitive racing when you see Jaisrin race with you. He's in fourth now. Unfortunately, not anywhere higher. Lap time 1:40.333, and he goes there. Of course, that's one of the spots where you can stop your car and kind of disconnect if you wish to. And Saiful Arifin is in fifth. One of the head honchos of Malaysia, iRacing Malaysia, Android King, which means that he has he's probably got his phone number on his bonnet.
That's the most effective way of marketing.
Yeah, I think you should put another one at the rear bumper. I think rear bumper is where, you know, you definitely see. Sponsored by SSAD as well, if I'm not wrong.
SSAD as a supporter, big supporter for them. And
yeah, that's great.
Two teams that the main team of SSAD is quite forming also. They are all students of Rashid Raidel. I think.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're all on iRacing.
Yeah, he managed to get into the server luckily, and he and his son Adi Raimi. Adi Raimi is also very active in other sims, and he's quite successful though. And so we're happy to see all these guys from trying out other sims and also in the same time trying out iRacing, and to compare what, yeah, they should see a big difference here in terms of sensitivity, I think, on car control. Yeah, what do you see on the big difference on iRacing between iRacing and other sims?
One key difference would be the tire model. The tire model, the famous tire model. You know, it's such a, you know, when you're within your envelope, you know, when you're within when you still have control of your car, you can drive. But it's just that especially with cars like the MX5 and even the GT4 cars, cars that are more reliant on tire mechanical grip than on aero, right? You notice that you cannot push your tires beyond a certain point. So I think this goes down to how each simulator has their own quirks. And for iRacing, it's just that tire model. It's I guess over a certain point it just becomes unpredictable. But otherwise, I think when you're at speed, when you're not pushing the car too hard, when you kind of get in the groove, right, the cars feel very much good.
Yeah, here we can see Ilham. He's guiding his teammate Michael. I think Michael's just joined this for a few months. I think this is his third month here in iRacing. Meanwhile, Ilham has been here for years, and so what he's doing now is maybe showing the appropriate racing lines, and it's a good way to show within this track terms is how he should handle the car.
Yes, Ilham, one of the long time drivers. I think I remember first seeing Ilham race back in 2013. That was a long time ago. I think he used to race MX5s as well. I think he used to race the Pontiac Solstice when it was still quite popular back in the days. Many years ago when it was still at the lower levels of racing, the Pontiac Solstice was still around, and I think he was just among the faster drivers around with that car. But of course, he's come back and he's now driving this MX5. I think he's really getting comfortable with this car, and owing to perhaps his past experiences. And yeah, you can see another car, knocking out that cones. Don't do that when it's racing, because you'll get cones stuck onto the bumper of your car. But I think during practice it's always fine.
There was a video on Reddit as I saw they exchanging cones, like passing batons. So funny. I think the open wheel car, one of the US guys was streaming. He got one cone stuck in between his front wing. And then
that's gonna do a lot of damage to your pace.
And then it flew off, and it magically it stuck into another front wing of the following car. So it seems like a relay race.
I think
Reddit just kind of waste your time a lot there.
I think when you get the thing stuck in front of you, especially open wheel car, the space between front wing and your front wheel, right? Once it's stuck there, it's very hard to get it off, and it will just drag along your car and it will just slow you down. This is Shami Azri, possibly one of the newer faces in iRacing. His car is sponsored by Pico Media, I would imagine, and
I think his own racing team, GT29 Racing, is using Pico Media's livery. I think he likes it. He was experiencing massive issues last round. If you can remember, he was blinking so badly, and that he decided he wouldn't join for the rest of the season. But I think a few hours ago, he mentioned in the group he managed to get around that issue, and he'll try for this practice. If anything goes wrong, he won't join for qualifying.
Sure, I guess that's a safe way of perhaps gauging your performance, and I guess gauging whether or not you're comfortable with the car. And it very much is worth noting that as when you're doing multiplayer racing, it's important to be on top of the car at all times. So if you understand that sometimes you may have issues trying to be on top of your car, sometimes it's worth being more aware of how good you are with the car, and thereafter how it will affect the way you race with others. So certainly very, very good that he does consider that. His lap time is 1:45.11, so I think no change from before.
Yeah, next we have the owner of Android King himself is Afizul Jai. So he's improved a lot since the invitational races that we did earlier, and what he always ends up for the first half of the race always goes for top 10, top 12, but he's a bit unlucky sometimes when he encountered some incidents, mainly not because of his own doings. Yeah, but that's quite sad to see a performing guy. See, oh man, this
there
is
we
what
go, man.
Matthew said. Commentators curse. Okay, over to you. We go to Lloyd Laughlin.
Alright. So, alright, yeah.
Yeah, from what info I got from Lloyd, he is a Australian, staying in KL, so he's eligible to join this race. So we're open. This race is open for Malaysian residents. We don't check your nationalities or any personal info. Just we need a valid address in case you won't win and anything from us. So, and that's how we do it here. And maybe we'll try to continue on like this, unless if we go fully sanctioned events, if there will be a sanctioning body and partnering with us, we might have to adhere to their regulations, or maybe they will be requiring full Malaysian citizens only. I don't know. So yeah, Lloyd's doing good also. Have you seen him before?
I doubt I have. Very, very good to know. Yeah, I think it's just wonderful that with such a competition being built up in Malaysia, it's just going to lead to more good racing, more good events like such. So yeah, Lloyd Laughlin is now taking this downhill left-hander. Of course, this is a part that kind of comes after the corkscrew, and this is where you'll definitely carry a lot of speed down. So it's quite a fun section, especially when you have a car in front of you. It's kind of one of those places where you can even think of making overtaking moves. Oh, that was very close.
Ooh, close call. Okay, we have around 5 more minutes to go. Okay, just would like to mention our supporters and sponsors. We have Works Engineering. They have signed up for season 2. Thank you very much. Season 2 first sponsor will be Works Engineering, and they will be bringing in also Lucas Oil. So apart from the paid sponsors, we have community supporters like Oregon Engineering. Yeah, the owner himself is Amir Farid Yan. He's one of the top 5 drivers in here. And Stream.my is a cloud service provider. The guy behind Stream.my is Azril Nazli. He's also in here. They all are providing with community work. So community work, all without pay. They spend their time. They spend maybe sometimes they spend their own money to help this championship to go as smooth as possible. And we would like to give out big thanks to them. And not forgetting Simnology. Simnology is owned by Paduka Shoaib, our own AMC steward. He will be observing this race and will be calling any flags if necessary. And Pico Media, our livery experts, so I think more than 50 to 60% of these cars are using liveries by Pico. And a big thanks to a community called Sim Racing Enthusiasts Malaysia. They guided me to do this from zero. I had no knowledge on sim racing before, but I only have knowledge on covering real motorsport events, so big thanks to them. Todak Motorsport is one of the teams in here. They supported us from day zero, maybe from even day zero. The founder, the president of Todak Motorsport, it's actually a community, a registered community, motorsports community. It's run by Michael Hafiz himself. So they have big involvements in actual races in Malaysia. Kudos to them. And not forgetting, lastly, Inter Formula, our Matthew Palmer. He will be joining us anytime soon. So I think we'll take a quick break for a message from our sponsors, and we'll be right back with qualifying.
Hi, I'm Matt from Interformula, and welcome to our Research and Development Center. We do all forms of research and development, all the way from designing and developing our own race cars to simulators to running cars in racing series and rallying all over the world. We also do a lot in the Asian Classic Car Championship, so do look out for us. For any information, do contact us with the number down below.
Okay, we're back. So what we'll see here is the aerial view of. Go ahead, Wehan.
Yeah, this is Laguna Seca. We've come to one of the best tracks in iRacing to race MX5s. And what's with MX5s and this Laguna Seca circuit, these are very much the fast track contenders, the level that it is that is familiar to iRacing. People are iRacing, they're very familiar, and because of the fact that it's being used at the lower levels of racing. And it does provide for a lot of exciting racing. Over here at Laguna Seca, you've got a lot of elevation changes
Yeah, they're mostly doing their out laps and warm up. Maybe second lap was as a tire warmer lap also. So in the mat we should be seeing, yeah, Faiz, I think, is coming in. Oh man, you see, you can see the map is so full of guys there. Oh, okay, sorry, I didn't, sorry, I did not unmute you. Okay, we shall introduce back. Let's do the intro back. There was my error, my bad. So, over to you.
Okay, yeah, so we have come to Laguna Seca. Of course, this is the combination that everyone on iRacing is so familiar with. You know, it provides the very good, very close racing action. You know, these being something that everyone would know from racing from the lower levels of the iRacing license. And you know, with MX5s on a track like this, because these cars will tend to race close with each other, and at a track like this, you know, it just adds so much interesting action to the racing. You know, we've got places like the corkscrew, which doesn't need any explanation, which does not need rather any introduction. There are also various corners around, you know, owing to the elevation changes of Laguna Seca circuit. It's just going to make things a lot more interesting, and in fact nail-biting even, as you see cars battling it out. So qualifying has already begun. We've seen lap times around the ballpark of 1 minute 41 and even 1 minute 40. So as the minutes go on, as the qualifying session progresses, we will see more drivers setting 1 minute 40s. So this track, the weather, in fact, good.
Yeah,
you know, I think we've got
the weather. Okay, it's clear day today.
17 Celsius. This is a very cold temperature by Malaysian standards. It's very cold. But of course, this on iRacing, it does make for good track temperature. Probably one that would support good racing, because it does offer quite a lot of grip for these cars. Clear weather, wind pretty much non-existent, fair relative humidity, and you know, I think we're just gonna be in for a good night of racing.
Yeah, track temps are 19 degrees.
Yes, it's very cool, man. You know, imagine you're on a hot Malaysian daytime. You know, if you put your hand on the tarmac, you'll probably burn your hands. But you know, that's just not the case here.
Okay, we have Kelvinder in the 140s. I'll leave it to you now, Weihan.
Oh yes, we do, and this is Kelvinder who, like you just say, he just set a very fast lap time. Of course, the fastest lap time we did see was in fact down to 1:39 earlier on during the practice. But I guess, you know, the cars are, some of them they're also on their out lap, some of them they're beginning to set a series of lap times, and that is Saiful Arifin. He's gone up to 1:40.019, which is faster than Kelvinder's lap time. And you know, we can just see from here if there will be anyone else who will begin to set lap times even faster.
Yeah, I'm anticipating maybe Shamir or Farid Yan. Yeah, let's see. Let's go on to Shamir. Let's see where he is right now. He's in second. He just passed second sector.
Yeah, so he did set his lap time of 1:41.46 previously, but of course that could improve as he progresses. Now I think we do have Max Palmer, who's probably on his way into the iRacing session, or maybe setting up.
In fact, I'm right here right now. Just
Hi,
waiting
Matt.
for that.
Thank you for joining us.
I do apologize for being a little bit late this evening. I had a small panic attack at Sepang, where I was earlier on today, and unfortunately I had to be delayed slightly when I got back. So I've literally just parked the car with the engine running. My dad's settling that up. I ran up here and booted up the computer just to join you nice, wonderful people back home watching the ARMC Championship. So how are you doing, Weihan?
Oh, I'm doing great. You know, I just enjoy my time at home. I think, you know, not too much has happened. Just your usual. But of course, I think, you know, we've just been able to experience more and more sim racing lately. But I think the fact that, you know, Formula One has resumed, that does kind of make life a little bit more interesting for us motorsport fans who have nothing better to do, I guess.
That is That is true, but it's also quite nice and heartening. A good shout out to Lando Norris, meme lord himself, who's a huge fan of sim racing. He's done a lot to cheer our spirits up and gave us quite a lot of entertaining sim racing moments. He's fourth for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so that's going to be interesting to see how he gets on at the A1 ring, or rather the Red Bull ring.
Yeah, well, so while the Austrian Grand Prix goes on, we've also got our own little what you call MX5s at Laguna Seca is going on as well. You know, I think it could possibly be as interesting, as exciting as what real life motorsports will offer. You know, we've got full house as usual, 44, 45 drivers lined up in the servers, and they're all setting their qualifying lap time. So, although unlike practice where I think there are a couple of drivers who made it. Oh, a bit of slide. Yeah, we've not managed to get a driver who's been able to break the 140s time barrier. So the fastest lap time currently provisional pole is Saiful Arifin 140.019, and in second is Calvinder with 140.108. Ilham is also not that far behind with 140.179. So you know, these three, as well as some of the other drivers, 4th to 6th, these 6 drivers, these are some of the key drivers to look out for as they progress throughout the race.
So do you think that we will see at the dying moments of qualifying a 139? That's a bit of a hallmark sort of lap time for Laguna Seca and these MX5 cars. Do you think Saiful or Kelvinder can do it?
Well, it was done earlier. Earlier was done by Farid. In fact, 139.962. Farid and it was Farid and Nigel Chua. These two drivers, they did it. They actually pulled that off. So we'll have to see if someone else does it again. So I think we've got around 5 minutes to go in qualifying, so that there's probably enough time for someone to squeeze to magically make a 139 appear.
That's going to be absolutely awesome, and it'll be nice to see a new face on the pole position on the grid. I know Nigel Chua has been showing his pace quite a lot, and Amir Faridyan also very, very quick driver. Perhaps the season hasn't gone his way entirely, but having said that, he is always very, very quick and very, very consistent. So we have quite a few drivers, it seems, poised and ready to take away that provisional pole from Saiful Arifin. We still also can't discount Ilham Halabi, our current championship leader. He is not too far behind, and it looks like it's going to be a very, very exciting end to the qualifying session.
Yes, and this is Wicked from Team SSAD, and his lap time is 141.203. You know, I think what's so amazing about lap times here is, everyone's just within, from start to finish, they're generally within 3 seconds of one another, which is actually quite compact by iRacing standards. So we've got also a couple of drivers below that. But I think an increment by a 10th will actually move you up a couple of positions in this session, which is very, very tight. They're all out to kind of get the best. They're all out to kind of get the best edge that they can to try to squeeze as many milliseconds out of their cars as they can.
Yeah, it's almost looking like it's as close as the Formula 1 grid, because when you look at the Formula 1 grid, the distances really are measured by tenths, and judging by what I can see up here, the top 25 is either in the 140s or the 141s. So it really is, as you said, a gap of between 3 seconds for a wide variety of drivers, it must be said. So they've definitely been putting their homework in, and definitely been putting the practice in and finding their own sort of recipe to try and make the MX5 go as quickly as possible around Laguna Seca.
Yeah, so a couple of weeks, I think a couple of months ago, I did remember watching a race here, but it was with the Skip Barbers, and what made that Skip Barber race so exciting was that they did not, many of the cars they actually used, they actually dipped their wheels off the track a bit. They made use of the kind of the areas beyond the track limits, such as running a little bit wide around the on the axis of corners. And I think things like that with that kind of car, it just made the racing more interesting, because people were just kind of pushing the cars beyond their limit. So if the drivers could do that here as well, to try to push these MX-5s as far as possible, I think it would just make the racing that much more exciting. Of course, with the MX-5 you can't push too much. You can get quite a lot out of the cars if you do so.
Yeah, I mean, judging from the practice race that we had on Friday, free practice one was absolutely entertaining. We did see near the end a lot of guys, as you can see there, with Dominic Ang pushing the car just half a tyre tread off the road there. We did see quite a lot of spectacular racing going in through the night. We had a night sort of race session, which was quite entertaining indeed. And it looks to be like it's going to be a track that's really going to reward the brave and reward the driver who can be as accurate as possible with their cars.
Yes, especially for this corner that that Dominic Ang has just come up upon. This is a very crucial corner. It sets you up for the run down into the corkscrew. Of course, you want to try to get as good of a line as possible without running wide to the exit, or they'll kind of slow you down. This corkscrew, is actually not that difficult, not as difficult as it seems. It's just about finding the right point to turn right as you exit the corkscrew. And now you come upon this downhill section, this final sector in fact. This is where you can throw the car around quite a fair bit around, throw the weight around. And in fact think of possibly some overtaking maneuvers. And this final corner, if someone messes up here, this is where you can dive on them.
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest mistakes a lot of rookies make around this track is spending so much time trying to get the corkscrew right that they forget about the corner right after, which is basically one of only two other corners that have a name, Rainy Curve. Because it changes in terms of bank angle and corner radius quite a bit around there. It tightens up a little bit and it steepens up a little bit at the end. It's quite often you see someone get a fantastic run through the corkscrew only to spin on Rainy Curve. So when you're on the limit, it is absolutely imperative to not just look at one segment of the lap around here. The final hairpin is also very difficult to get right. The Andretti curve, turn 2, that little hairpin down after the start-finish straight is quite difficult as well as the corner before the corkscrew. That is absolutely crucial because that's a massive 30% of the lap that you have to try and make up time for. And it's really very important to try and get all of Laguna Seca right. And that's why I really love this track. It's a challenge from start to finish.
And the best part is that it's free on iRacing, so everyone gets to enjoy the kind of excitement that Laguna Seca brings to you.
Yeah, it's perhaps one of the best marketing moves ever made by iRacing is to make Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca free. I don't think it would be that popular with the Skip Barber and the MX5 crowd if this track wasn't free.
Yeah, very much so, man. So yeah, I think we're coming to the final minutes of qualifying. So we've got, I guess, a minute to go within this session itself. So drivers are now, of course, they are checker flagged. So they are now making going on their last corners before they finish up this lap. So very much likely that drivers would be able to perhaps set a lap time. And we will thereafter move on to 45 minutes of racing.
Yes, and it's looking to be a very exciting 45 minutes indeed. There never seems to be a dull race here at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca, or should I say WeatherTech Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. This track keeps getting sponsors left, right and centre. And you can see why. It's an absolutely fantastic layout. Never a dull moment. And with the drivers as tight and close together as this, I think we're going to have a very explosive start to the race.
Clock is ticking as the drivers begin to grid onto the track. Of course, we don't exactly see it here because the cameras are just panning around, just kind of floating around an imaginary blimp atop Laguna Seca. Of course, we do see that this is in fact a dried up lake from before, and they're just there's someone doing donuts. That's Kelvinder, of course, it has to be him.
Mr. Donuts himself. And we're looking forward to him not only doing his best during this race, but also during the Spa event that's going to be coming up soon. We have, I believe, 4 cars have been confirmed from SRE going to Spa 24 hours. and that looks to be very exciting indeed. So hopefully we're going to get a lot of coverage and a lot of excitement from that particular event as well. So anyways, on pole position, Saiful Arifin with a 140.018. He gets pole position from Kelvinder Singh in the SRE Racing Team A. Nigel Chua is third for Speed Tavern, followed by Ilham Halabi, Amir Faridyan, Jezrin Jali, Dominic Ang, Shame Aizan, Tamizi Yusuf, Tinku Ezan, Lay, Adi Rahimi Rashid, and Lloyd Lachlan. Now we're getting ready for the start of the race. Everyone's gridding up. We still have Shamir Tamizi is getting ready to go in. We also have Akid Basarom there in 21st position. Very special welcome for him. He is an MSF Superbike rider, if I'm not mistaken. And if I am mistaken, do forgive me, I've just turned up. And also leave a comment down below. And whilst you're leaving down a comment down below, do hit that like button and share. All the best to everyone, says Ali Berry. That's what we're going to be hoping for as well. The lights should come on very soon. We've only got Kelvin T, we've only got Alvarez waiting for the green light. We've got a lot of Speed Tavern fans down there in the comment section down below, getting ready for the start. We should have everyone on the grid. The suspense is killing me as the 5 red lights begin to go on. 4th light, 5th light, and away we go. And it looks like Saiful Arifin didn't get quite the best of starts. Jezrin Jali there coming up through the bend, coming into the first corner, and it looks like it's going to be 3 wide, 4 wide. There's a huge group of cars coming into the first corner. Will they be able to get through safely? It looks like everyone has their briefing sorted out. We have cars 3 wide going through there. I'm amazed there doesn't seem to be any incidents going through the first corner. That is quite something else. But meanwhile, Nigel Chua has taken the lead. What a start from Nigel Chua, who's taken the lead from Saiful Arifin and Kelvinder Singh. He's leapfrogged the front 2 rows of the grid, and he's now in the lead of the race.
Yeah, that's such an amazing start to the race. Of course, everyone's made it through. Everyone's begun their race rather cleanly, and that's always good to see. And this is Nigel leading the field into this important corner. You know, this is one of those corners that will catch you out, can catch you out at any point. And this is probably, I guess, a few drivers making their way past the Android King car, and here they come into the corkscrew. Of course, this is also one of the corners, like we just said, this is one of the corners that is important to get right. But what's more important is this part that comes out here. This is a decreasing radius left-hander. It is banked, so you can carry quite a lot of speed through, but it's still something to take care of nonetheless. They come upon the final few corners, and this will mean that they have completed 1 lap here, a clean lap of racing here at Laguna Seca, and they come upon the final corner for the first time, and onto the start finish line. As you just said, someone's made a little bit of mistake running wide through the final corner. And your top 5 as they stand: Nigel Chua, Kelvinder Singh, Amir Faridyan, Saiful Arifin, and Tunku Izanle.
Looks like Shami Aizan there had an off-track excursion. He just got the car, like you said, onto the gravel, and that upset the balance of the car a little bit. He just put too much rubber off the track, and that caused the car to spin out. Really a real pity to see. Shami Aizan was doing very, very well during the free practice session races. So hopefully he'll be back into the race and back up and running. But Nigel Chua is still our leader of the race. Kelvinder Singh and Amir Faridyan have managed to find their way past Saiful Arifin. He's really got to have to watch his position now. He's got Tunku Ezan right behind him, so he's got to be very, very careful. Or he's rather, Tunku Ezan is in fact 2.8 seconds behind, so Saiful Arifin is at the back of that top group of 4 cars, and it's going to be really, really interesting to see if he can fight back and try and push hard to try and get back on to the back of this group of cars you see right ahead.
So you can just hear the squeals from tires of this corner is quite hard on the car. So they make their way upon the final few corners. There's a little bit of mistake by the lap traffic in front. That must have been an incident that the driver had faced as he came loose through the final few corners. And Nigel Chua still leads the field across.
Don't worry about that. Just a slight glitch in the VHS player we've got packed up away. Kalvinder Singh in second position. He looks like he's on a roll. He's definitely got a groove going on there, but he's got to watch out very, very carefully because Amir Faridyan is very close behind him. He's got to try and defend from Farid, and he's also got to watch out and see if he can gain any more time to Nigel up ahead. So he's in a really tricky situation. Saifur Arifin seems like he's dropping back just a little bit. I don't know if he's decided to take the tactical approach and try and see the battle up ahead play out, or if he has in fact dropped a little bit of pace through the start of the race.
So as we scan through some of the cars of the grid, this is Dominic Ang. He is in 6th, and he is in the midst of a 4-way battle pack which is being led by Tengku Ihsan. Of course, 3 of the drivers in this pack being from the same team, and would probably be Jaisrin, who is in 7th at that within that. So they come upon this uphill run up. This is the Rahal Straight, which leads them into the corkscrew, and of course through this corner is all about finding the point at which you turn right once you make it past the first of the chicane. They come upon the downhill once again, and it does look like a bit of mayhem in front as we've got a slow car.
I wonder what happened to Ilham.
Where is Ilham Halabi? That is a good point. We've just got word that Ilham Halabi's dropped right the way back. We're trying to look for him down in the timing screens right now, and it looks like he's in 32nd position. So that is really rather surprising. Ilham Halabi, one of the quickest drivers, and he is in fact our championship leader, so that's going to be a huge blow to his championship hopes. He does have quite a bit of a lead, but in 31st position he's not going to be able to gain that much points. He really has to fight back now and really try to overtake as many cars as possible, but that must have been a huge mistake for Ilham Halabi to be that far behind.
Yeah, something must have happened, during the at any moment right before this. So he is currently stuck in 30th position, and he's probably got a huge field to kind of clamber his positions back again. We have a look at the replay and possibly see where exactly this happened.
Let's see, Ilham Halabi. It looks like he just got the car sideways. He lost it on his own. That's a very rare mistake from Ilham Halabi. Usually he's one of the guys who is very, very comfortable with the car sideways. He has a very, very good sense of oversteer and understeer, so it's really rather surprising to me to see that he's lost it coming into that corner there. So perhaps the tyres was just a touch cold still while he was battling through traffic, or maybe there was something that ahead of him or behind him that took his concentration away. We won't really know for sure. Hopefully we'll be able to call him into the room later on after the race to see what happened right there.
Okay, but, we have a yellow flag.
Yes, so now we have a yellow flag, and Jezrin Jali in the pits as well, so it looks like there's been plenty of incidents up and down the field. Our steward for the race, Paduka Shoaib, has decided to throw the yellow flag, so this means all the cars will have to drop down, drop behind the safety car. This is a full course caution, and I believe we'll be going into a single file caution run around the circuit there just to try and make sure everyone is safe and sound. But there must have been quite a few incidents in the last couple of laps to throw the yellow flag out.
Maybe it's the one. Okay, we can see Wicked Low here. One of the crashes.
So we see now in the replay Wicked Low. Ooh, he was just very slow at the apex there, and there was a huge hit from the car behind. It looked like the car behind completely missed his braking point. I'm not too sure who that was, but that caused a real pile up and dust up behind. That's not going to be very good for wake it lows chances. He does seem to be in the unlucky section of the race. He always seems to be involved in one incident or another, either usually not of his fault, and that's going to be a real downer for him.
Apologies for the glitches in streaming today. I'm not sure why is it happening. My connection seems okay, but I hope it's nothing serious and wouldn't go bothering us for the rest of the night. For the meantime, I leave this camera angle to Nigel for just a minute. You guys can talk.
Alrighty, so now the cars have gone behind the safety car. Surely this must be a time when they have to sort of refocus and try and get their act back together again.
And the remark from our race steward Paduka Hassan, Paduka Sweep, of course it was that incident that led to this yellow flag. And at this point these drivers, they're just kind of they're just bunching up again. They're being close to one another again, which is kind of going to restart the whole flow of the competition, with everyone being packed so closely again. It's going to perhaps be the start of more overtaking action to take place, as opposed to what would usually be a more spread out field during the middle of the race. So this is Nigel Chua. He leads the race, and I think he began from third earlier on today, and he made 2 positions up. He is leading Farid. So of course these are the 2 drivers who had set the fastest lap time during practice, and of course they are carrying over quite a lot of that pace onto this race, given the fact that they are up front at this point. Kelvin Singh has managed to secure third. Of course, I think he might have a little bit of damage to his car, and of course Saiful Arifin is in 4th.
So yeah, that is your top 4 up there. Just a quick scan down the field. We have Lloyd Lachlan up in 8th. We haven't seen him in the top 10 for quite a while. He must be glad that he's as high up there as he is. Tamizu Yusuf is doing quite well to be up in 7th position. And a special shout out to Akib Basaram, who's in 13th. He made up quite a lot of places going up the field there. Michael Hafiz is in 17th position, so all your Chodat fans can look forward to him steadily moving up the field. And yeah, it's quite surprising to me to see that Ilham Labi is down there in 22nd position, but also, if you remember, only a couple of laps ago he was down in 30th, so he's making major moves to try and get up the field.
So of course it would very much be in the best interest of Ilham to try to regain as much ground as he can. We go green once again, and this is Nigel Chua, who is going to lead the field past the start-finish line, and he does go on the defensive as he goes towards the inside to defend his pole position. Farid follows, so does Kalvinder, and this is Faiz Aslan, who is currently in 11th, and he is in the middle of perhaps most of the racing action that is taking place at this front end of the field.
And yet again another clean restart from the guys there. This is looking good for a long green flag period, which is going to be absolutely fantastic. But Nigel Shaw, he's nailed the restart again. You can see the gap. It's over half a second this early on from a restart, so he's definitely getting the starts and the restarts of the race really right down pat. Farid is right now in danger of losing his position to Kelvinder Singh, and Saiful Rifin is holding a watching brief there in 4th position.
You're doing very good today. You're very well mannered.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised there, to be honest. Even though we did have that yellow period, but that's possibly excusable considering the nature of that particular corner. The corkscrew is something you couldn't really put into a modern racetrack. It's in fact been grandfathered in through all the FIA homologation sort of regulations, so they've sort of allowed that corner to exist, otherwise they would have to reprofile it. But it does show off the challenge. It's blind coming into it, so if you do mess up your braking or miss the braking point, or if you're on the wrong side of the road, it can be very hard to try and recover from that situation, as we saw with the incident involving Rukit that caused the safety flag. the safety car, sorry, to come out. Meanwhile, Amir Faridyan still under pressure from Kilvinder Singh, and Saifur Ifin is definitely doing a little bit better, going through the Andretti hairpin there. We do apologise again for the slight visual corruption there. It is not a client-side issue. We believe it must be from the server. We're trying to fix everything. Hopefully, we can get everything sorted.
Yeah. What I'm experiencing, I think, is doesn't affect the racers, so they should be racing okay. Maybe somewhere in between my connection and iRacing, I don't know. Okay, we have a crash here, Arcade Basarom, but I'm not trying. I will not try to replay, but for the moment, because of these glitches.
Alright, we'll try and see there, but Akid Barstrom, he was doing very, very well indeed. He in fact went up from the mid-20s right up to 13th position, but it looks like he's had to drop down again due to an incident. It looks like Malvinderjit and Mohaimin also have had incidents during this opening lap of the restart. It's looking to be a little bit messier. We've got a few cars who are dropping down the order there, but it looks like Nigel Chua is still in the lead, followed by Farid, Kilvinder and Saiful. Shopian is now into the pits, and it looks like Lloyd has also gained another position, although he is in danger of being overtaken again by Shami Aizan, the man you see on screen right now. As we can see coming into the Andretti hairpin, will he be able to make the move stick? It looks like he's going well. There's side by side coming out of the corner there, and it looks like Tarmizi and Norazam, was side by side, and they were fighting door to door there. You can see just side by side still going around almost the entire opening half of the lap. They're still side by side there. That's absolutely fantastic driving from both drivers to try and give enough space and still be competitive. You're going to see Tamizi Yusuf get closer and closer. It looks like he's got Norazam coming out of the edge of the corner there. They're side by side again coming up the hill. They've got to get this corner right. It looks like both of them have gone through there cleanly, although Norazam has gone a little bit wide coming into the hairpin there. Meanwhile, Michael is up in 12th position. He's doing very well indeed for himself.
Yeah, I think it's gone a little bit too much wide through that corner, but of course that does serve him well, as this is Asman Abdullah, who is in 11th. He's in front of Michael Hafiz, and he just managed to master that corkscrew corner so effectively. He comes upon this left-hander, and it's all about being able to kind of wrestle your car, bringing enough speed through that corner, and comes upon the final few corners. Now, this is again, when you have more cars around at this section, a lot of overtaking will happen. But at this point, apparently the cars have been able to spread themselves further out wide as compared to, owing to the fact that there had been a safety car just earlier on. And okay, this is them possibly plotting for a move down into Andretti hairpin. Of course, when the cars are this far apart, overtaking maneuvers become less and less common.
Yes, that is true. It becomes riskier as well, because you have to brake that much later than the car in front of you and try to go through the corner that much faster than the car in front of you in order to try and get that overtaking maneuver happen.
We also see Jezrin dropping to 41st. Jezrin Jali. What happened?
So Jezrin Jali must have had a big incident or something that had to force him to go into the pits there. That's quite surprising, because normally he is usually quite reliably in the top 20 and usually fighting in the top 10. So that is a lot of favourites who have now dropped down the order. It's been a very surprising race around Laguna Seca. Never a dull race, like I said, and it looks like it's going to be the order of the day this time around here with this MX5 race.
And this is Amar Norazam. He is fighting for 8th position. Of course, he did begin from 20th, so very much good performance by him all race long. He sits so close to the rear bumper of Lloyd Lachlan, which means that he is going to go for a move on the outside or the inside. I'm having a little bit of stuttering issues, but this is him trying to perhaps find a window to attack, but he backs off the braking, and he'll probably go for a move in the next few corners. Of course, he tried to perhaps go for a move down that hairpin, but now he's just gonna find his way through these series of right-handers. Now this right-hander, you don't exactly have to brake too much across this corner. You can in fact lift and just make your car go across. But of course, down to this corner, you do downshift a little bit and turn right at this point. So as he tries to perhaps regain a little bit of ground, he does sit and obtain good slipstream. At this point, they now make their way to the left-hander, and this is going to be a lead up to that crucial left-hander.
So it's going to be very, very important for Amanorazam to get this corner right if he wants to go for an overtaking maneuver down into the corkscrew. It is very, very risky to try and overtake someone through the corkscrew section, but any fans of Alex Zanardi would know it is possible. Very high risk, but very, very possible indeed. But it looks like Amanorazam decides that discretion is a better part of valor. And it looks like the cars ahead of Lloyd Lachlan are also going to play a part in backing Lloyd up into Amanorazam's clutches, going through the rainy curve there. He's got to be very careful with the racing line through there. Both cars get through just fine. Now into the penultimate corner, Amanorazam now has to focus mainly on trying to get a good drive out of the final hairpin. There is a lapped car up ahead. This could be a good thing or a bad thing to Norazam, depending on how this goes. Lloyd Lachlan and Amanorazam now, they are nose to tail coming into the Andretti hairpin. Will they be able to pull something off coming into here? Amanorazam goes around the outside, very wide, and it looks like he's not able to get the overtaking maneuver to work, but Lloyd Lachlan goes wide. Lloyd Lachlan goes wide, and he just got caught up with a back marker, and Shamir has gone through.
Shamir
Aizan was the back marker that got the car a little bit crossed up in front of Lloyd Lachlan. He had to take avoiding action, and now Ahmad Norazam is into 6th position.
Let's go back to the front group.
We return to the race leaders. This is a 4-way battle pack led by the race leader Farid. Of course, he leads Nigel Chua and Kelvin Singh. So Saiful is very much keen on perhaps breaking it through this 4-way thing. And as you just said, that Kelvin goes along the outside, along Rahal Straight. And this is him perhaps eyeing for a good entry into the corkscrew. Now, how's the entry going to look like as you go inside? Oh, a bit of contact! And this is going to mean that Saiful is going to be set a little bit far back. Of course, Kelvin has made the move up to second and pushed Saiful Arifin down to third. So that was quite a close call. Of course, they came together but did not take each other out. And perhaps Nigel Chua might think of going for a move on Saiful.
Yeah, it looks like Nigel Chua dropped out from the lead of the race there, and we've got some serious moves happening through that lap. That was a critical lap there, because now Amir Faridian is well in the lead with Kelvinder Singh in second position, and Saiful and Nigel are still battling out coming into the first corner, coming out of the first corner into Andretti hairpin. It looks like Saiful Arifin has got the inside covered. Will he be able to get the exit just right so that Nigel won't be able to get a good exit? It looks like Nigel has managed to get a good exit, so now they're nose to tail going through turn 3. They're going to be very careful going underneath the Firestone Bridge. Now through this corner here, it's all about being inch perfect to try and make sure they are as quick as possible going through this corner here. It's all about momentum coming up here. Will he be able to make that overtaking maneuver stick? Nigel Chua right on the back of Saiful Arifin. Will this be another attempt at an overtake coming up into the corkscrew? You see we have one more corner to go before we get there, and it looks like both drivers managed to make it through quite well. There's a spin up ahead, but it doesn't affect these two drivers, and let's see if we have another overtaking maneuver coming in to the corkscrew. They decide not to go for it. I must say Kelvinder Singh had a lot of bravery, shall we say, going for a overtaking maneuver there. One of the best things I've seen all year, to be honest. Perhaps not the wisest of choices, but it looks like Kelvinder has managed to get himself up ahead. But meanwhile, Saiful Arifin has Nigel Chua up ahead. Nigel dips a wheel onto the dirt there. He's just dropped a little bit more time, and let's see if he can make that overtaking maneuver happen on this lap.
Of course, for a good overtaking maneuver to take place, it does, you know, the onus kind of rests on both drivers to kind of make the overtaking move work safely. Of course, it was the case for Kelvin Singh on Sci-Fi, or rather on Nigel Chua, and that just the outcome was safe because both drivers did make the move happen safely for each other. So Sci-Fi is up to third, and he might, I think. Or rather, Kelvinder is in second, and he does have quite a gap to close up with Farid. Farid is leading the race. He is leading with a 4-second gap. So that is a gap that Kelvinder will have to seek to close. Now, at this point, that these three drivers can decide to work with one another to kind of close up the gap with Farid, or they could choose to battle it out, which might kind of lead to them kind of falling a little bit backwards further from Farid.
Yeah, it could be a case that these drivers might have to be quote-unquote temporary teammates and sort of call a ceasefire in order to be able to catch the car in front, because you have to remember, when you're battling for position, you are losing time to the car ahead because you're not taking the ideal line going through turns. You're having to turn in a little bit too early, or you have to place your car in a not ideal position for straight line speed or cornering speed. So you have to sort of make that decision, and it looks like Nigel Chua sort of, I wouldn't say make the decision, but he's sort of backed off a little bit. Perhaps he's trying to conserve tyres, but Saifullah is still putting a lot of pressure on Kelvinder, and we've seen Saifullah do this before, where he's decided to park the car right on the bumper of the driver in front and basically push him and try and make the driver ahead make a mistake. So it's interesting to see if Saifullah will go for the overtaking maneuver, or will he try and pressure Kelvinder into a mistake and try and get the position that way, or if they will work together and try and close the gap up to Farid. It looks like with the gap now down to 3.7 seconds, they are somewhat working together to try and catch up the gap to Amir Faridyan.
Okay, something I realized just now, a few laps before, Ilham managed his way to 14th, but he's now down to 41st, 42nd. Maybe some major issue happened to him. I don't know. I hope he's okay, but he's not.
He's out.
Yeah, he's out, I think.
Well, that was quite the comeback for Ilham Halabi. He was fighting very hard. He got up into the teens. He got up into 12th, 13th position. And unfortunately, he's had to retire the car, perhaps from a mechanical issue suffered in an earlier incident, perhaps through that spin. So we're going to have to be, it's going to be really gutting for Ilham Halabi, because that is a massive lead that's just been eroded down to virtually nothing for Ilham Halabi. That's going to blow the championship wide open, and it's some of the championship contenders are up ahead at the front of the field. Farid, Saiful, Kelvinder, Nigel is up there as well. Aman Azam is also a threat for the championship, so it's going to be huge for those guys in their bid to be champions.
Michael's in top 10.
I had to check there, double check. Forgive me for not being too overexcited there. I'm just gobsmacked. Michael Hafiz has managed to avoid all of the incidents and bring himself into the top 10 position. It's definitely clear to me that his direct drive rig is starting to mesh with him, and he is now in the top 10 position. And that's going to be amazing news for the Toda Motorsport guys. They've got one driver out, so Michael Hafiz has to really pull his weight now to try and get the maximum amount of points possible for Toda, and he's really rising up to the occasion.
Yes, he has gained in fact 27 positions from where he began from earlier on in during qualifying. So 9th, I think he's probably not done yet. I think he has got his sights set on more cars ahead of him.
Yeah, we also have a new teammate from for Toda Motorsport. He is Akid Basarom. He's doing good.
Well, he had a bit of a yo-yo session there, because he went from the back of the field up into the middle of the field, back to the back of the field, and now he's back up to 19th position. So say what you want about Akid Basarom, the superbike rider in the Malaysian Speed Festival, but he is absolutely showing his talent, especially when it comes to overtaking cars.
We're back with Kelvinder Singh, who has dropped back down to third. I think Saiful Arifin has retaken second place. And of course, these drivers are coming upon some lap traffic, and they will have to figure out their way past all these cars and to kind of work their way through. Of course, you know, when you've got these many cars on a racetrack, you know, lap traffic is something that will be bound to that's bound to happen at certain points. And you know, with coming to this point, this is a 2/3 point of the race. So this is where you'll see a lot of lead cars as well as lap traffic, you know, kind of interacting with one another. So it's very much for these drivers to be able to balance all of those. You know, do you continue fighting for position, or do you perhaps do things a little bit more sensibly and kind of let overtaking, like, you know, all these passing maneuvers kind of take place safely?
And of course, there is the other question that has arisen throughout the Adrenaline Impact iRacing Malaysia Championship, and that is the question of fuel economy and fuel strategy. Now, these guys are going to have to start looking down at their black boxes that they'll have open on their screens to try and figure out if they have enough fuel left. A lot of the drivers would have been doing long runs during practice to try and make sure, because there is a bit of a stop-start element to the Laguna Seca Raceway. It can be a track that if your driving style isn't quite right, it can burn quite a bit of fuel as well. So that is another thing we've got to try and think about throughout the course of the race. Do you want to keep attacking, or do you take the gamble and try back off and make sure you have enough fuel whilst the other guys don't?
She just said that I think we've just heard an engine blow in the background, so it could be a bit of damage that someone has sustained.
Oh,
It's
what
like
happened to
Shamir.
Shamir? Shamir went to the pits, so his strategy is there.
It looks like Shamir Aizan may have been the driver that either went to the pits due to the engine issue, or perhaps he just having to pit himself. But it does look like some of the drivers will be thinking of going into the pits fairly soon. Meanwhile, we're right on board with Michael Hafiz as he goes over the crest. It appears that not a lot's happened. He's in a comfortable position, I must say, in the top 10. If he gets this, he's going to have a good collection of points to his name and a very good result for himself. And I must say, as a racing driver, I would be very, very happy maintaining that position. He's 15 seconds behind Tarmizi. He is closing the gap, but he may run out of time before he gets to the car in front. But Rashid Rydell is 6.7 seconds behind him, so he's looking pretty there in top 10 position.
Of course, there are a lot of movers and shakers in this race. Of course, drivers who have gained a lot and also lost a lot of positions. So the drivers are, including even Afizul Jai and Colin Chia, you know, these are drivers who have made like 17, 22 positions from where they started from. So, you know, when your race is long enough, when you have enough time to kind of make things work, you are able to gain position. And this is Tarmizi. He is in 8th, and he's coming under quite a lot of pressure from Mitchell Hafiz. Of course, Mitchell is he's very much looking for the next position to climb. No, he's already climbed 27 positions. This could be his 28th position to climb. And a bit of overtaking move by the cars in front. I think that's between Ahmad Norisam or Lloyd Lachlan. You know, the cars up in 5th perhaps, or up in 6th and 7th.
So this is where all the battles are at the moment. There we've got a battle for 7th and 8th position with a whole group of cars around there. They've got to be really careful around here because they're mixing it up in lap traffic. So again, they've got to be very smart with this. Do they try and risk making an overtaking maneuver around lap traffic? Do they try to just wait for a clear bit of track to try and spring that surprise move? Or if they're particularly skillful and if they can really time it right, can they use a back marker car in their overtaking maneuver? Can they box the car in front in some way or form. We've seen that happen quite a lot through the history of motor racing. One of the most famous attempts is by Mika Hakkinen on Michael Schumacher back in the 1999 Belgian Grand Prix at Spa-Francorchamps, where Mika Hakkinen managed to make that overtaking maneuver work at 280 kilometers an hour either side of a lapped car. So we're going to see some pretty interesting moves if any of these guys want to try and make any overtaking maneuvers stick, and it's absolutely fantastic. We've got a lot of cars, they're still fighting up and down the leaderboard there, and it looks like Kelvinder Singh is starting to catch back up to Saffron Finn.
Yes, at the same time, we've also got good battles going on all throughout the field. This is right smack in the middle of the pack. This is between Azril Nasli and Nazmi Masli. This is the battle for 22nd, and these are just drivers that they'll just be trading positions back and forth as they make their way around corkscrew. You can use a little bit of the gravel along the inside of the second apex of the corkscrew. If you're able to pull that well, you can in fact gain a little bit of time. And right now it is Azril who is leading Nazmi by 0.6 of a second. And
I must say, sometimes if you are down in the 20s or 30s, but you do have a sparring partner to battle with, that can be almost as much fun as trying to go for the lead of the race. You see this all the time in club motorsport, where you have two guys who have been fierce rivals for many years and have no hope of actually winning the race, but they do enjoy going out there and having a battle. There's battles up and down the field to be had, and you're sure to have a good time in sim racing and in any form of motorsports, as long as you try and keep your mind steady and keep your focus up. Meanwhile, we see Tarmizi Yusuf and Faiz. It looks like Lloyd is out, according to my timing screen. That might not be too good for him. He was doing quite well, but that means... Oh no, he's just gone into the pit lanes there. So I was just going to say, Michael Huff is now up into 8th position. Tarmizi Yusuf and Faiz still battling out for 6th and 7th positions.
It would look like Mathieu Havis had in fact climbed a position, but I think they have just made a move for the pits. Of course, with these MX5s, although they are easy on fuel consumption, it is still worth, rather because there could be fuel limits on these cars. They do still have to play around with their fuel strategies. So most drivers they do decide to go into the pits at this point. This is a 37-minute mark, which is rather the 35-minute mark. So it is 10 minutes from the race at the end of the race. Towards the final latter moments of the race, and this is one of the points where drivers would almost deplete their fuel. They go in for just a splash and then they dash.
That's right. It is very useful to try and make your first stint as long as possible, because that makes your pit stop as short as possible, and that can be an advantage towards the end of the race. Meanwhile, we're riding on board with Wicket Low, and he is only 0.3 of a second behind Shahril up ahead there, and it looks like Akid Basram is also back up into 12th position. That man has been overtaking. He's been involved in either being passed or passing people for perhaps the entirety of the race. He must be having a ball out there, but Wicket Low is now coming up into 9th position. He's in the inside of Sahril. Let's see if he can make the move stick around the inside of the corkscrew. Yes, he managed to claim the apex neatly around the second apex there, and that's Wicket Low up one more position into 9th place.
Couple more drivers have been made their way into the pits for their fuel stops. Lloyd Lachlan and Ahmad Norisam in the pits. Of course, this is Ahmad Norisam who's done his fuel stop and he's on his way out.
So that's the first of the quick guys coming out there. He was up there in the top 5 positions for most of the race, so it looks like he's the first to blink and call it and try and go in for a bit of an undercut on the guys up ahead. It's going to be a big ask for him to try and improve his position in relation to Faiz, but meanwhile we have a massive battle up ahead not necessarily between the two drivers in first and second, but in just trying to get through the lap traffic as quickly as possible. Saiful Rifin there is being boxed in by Ruben Wong in 38th position. He's going to try and find the most efficient way around Ruben to try and catch back up to Amir Farahyan. They're still within 1.5 seconds of each other. In fact, 1.25 seconds is the gap. And it looks like Saiful Rifin will be able to make that overtaking maneuver on Ruben Wong to stick through the first corner here or into the second corner there. And it's really important for these guys to try and get as much as close to each other as possible when they're fighting out for the lead, because if you get too many cars between you and the back marker, or you and the car in front, if you get too many back markers in between, you can slow down quite a lot.
We're down to the final moments, and Saiful Arifin has gone to second. So that must mean that he has, or actually, you know, he has been holding this position. So he is being held back by, I would imagine, some lap traffic. These two drivers are, at least. And you know, I think they would be hard pressed to make this overtaking move work.
Yeah, it looks like Ruben Wong there, he's not going too slowly either, so it doesn't look like Saiful Rifin is necessarily losing time. In fact, he's gained a bit through that section there, although I'm pretty sure he'd be a little bit annoyed by the fact that he's got a lapped car between himself and Amir Farahyan. But it looks like the cars are still very, very close to each other. That's first, 38, second and third, all within your pictures right there, running as a pack around this Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. Real tight pack racing as usual with these MX5 cars. Absolutely exciting stuff there, and it looks like Saiful Rifin is under pressure from Kilvinder Singh behind. Again, the lap traffic playing a key part in the lead of the race there. Amir Farahyan is going to try and push as hard as he can to try and make that gap work. It looks like, well, that's strange. It looks like Ruben Wong disappeared right off the screen there. So that's one problem sorted out for Saiful Rifin.
Ada bom
So would appear that he might have been given the black flag.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
that's
After three
unfortunate.
corners. After 3 corners, maybe he's the stewards.
Have removed him from.
I don't know.
no.
But
We
it
have
looks
to.
like Saiful Rifin has really closed up to Amir Farahyan. So there's only 5 minutes left in the race. That's about 2.5 laps to go. We'll probably make it to lap 26 or lap 27. And Saiful Rifin's going into the inside. This is for the lead. Will he be able to make that overtaking maneuver? Stick with Amir Farahyan. They're still side by side, but it looks like Saiful Rifin has managed to get past, and Kilvinder Singh has followed through. That is opportunism like you wouldn't believe it. Kilvinder Singh has managed to basically drive into the gap that Saiful Rifin used to overtake Amir Farahyan, and Kilvinder Singh has managed to get himself into second position. Now down into the corkscrew there, Saiful has managed to pull up a real big lead. He was really being held back there by that lap traffic. And it looks like Kilvinder Singh has to really push hard to even try and keep up.
So this is him in the race lead, and yeah, I think it would have been, you know, this a good shuffle of positions, and that is Kilvinder Singh, who's gone into the pits, possibly for his fuel stop. And would also be possible that Saiful Arifin might think of doing his fuel stop in the next few moments, because just behind him he's now got a bit of a berth of a gap behind, and it would be Ahmad Norizam's turn to perhaps inch his way closer to Saiful Arifin.
Now the big question is going to be, is Farid and Kilvinder trying to do the classic undercut on Saiful Arifin, try and get into and back out in time to do a couple of fast laps and put Saiful Arifin under pressure? Or will Saiful Arifin be able to get his pit stop underway in time to maintain the lead of the race? Of course, we also have that one very interesting aspect of the fact that you are allowed to finish the race without any pit stops. So is Saiful Arifin able to complete the race without having to pit again?
So this is Amanor-san who's managed to, no, rather he probably hadn't closed the gap with Calvin Singh. He is 8 seconds behind. But I think he's found himself quite a comfortable position because he is kind of he's got quite a lot of gap between the drivers in front and behind of him. And this is Wicked. He is in 4th, 10 positions from where he began from, and he is in fact 11 seconds behind Amanor-san. So I guess it's very much likely that positions are kind of rather fairly set in stone at this point as Saiful now goes into the pits. So keep an eye on him because we are going to observe where exactly he will emerge, as he exits the pits later on. Because Calvin Singh is behind him. He's done his pits. He's done his pit stop, and this is him coming across the final corner.
So it looks like we might have a lead change in the pits. Will Calvin Singh be able to get past Saiful Arifin? It's going to be very, very close indeed. That's Akid Basaram, that's Jezrin Jali, and it looks like Saiful Arifin has managed to... No, he's gone off the road there. That might have lost him enough time for Calvin Singh to get past, but it looks like he's managed to get in front of Jezrin Jali. So Saiful Arifin has managed to get back out in the lead of the race with a lapped car between himself and Calvin Singh. And just to note there, Amanor-san has managed to really pull off the undercut there. He did go to the pits in 6th, and now as the pit stops are shaping up, it looks like he's managed to get himself a top 3 position from that tactical masterstroke. Wicket Low there also in 4th. He is improving by leaps and bounds up the field there. And it looks like Faiz Aslan also managed to really gain some positions there in the pit stops. Looks like Faiz Aslan there also putting Tamizi Yusuf there. I do apologize, under a lot of pressure. There's only 0.36 of a second between Faiz and Tamizi. We'll see if he's able to catch up again. It looks like Tamizi is a little bit quicker through this section, but Faiz Aslan is a lot faster through the opening section of the lap, so we'll see where he can try and pull off that overtaking maneuver. Meanwhile, Saiful Arifin has managed to get himself into the lead right at the finish line there. A photo finish set up for Saiful Arifin and Calvin Singh.
Calvin remarks upper too, right? That's interesting. And Amanor comes home in 3rd. And this is going to mean that Wicked, we have a look at him, he comes home in 4th. So of course this was such an amazing battle of positions that had unfolded. Of course, we are with Tamizi at this point. He comes home in 5th, and with other cars that are making their way past the start-finish line.
So that is an absolutely nail-biting final few laps. Saiful Arifin has managed to make his pit stop on the penultimate lap. He almost threw it all away by driving into the gravel trap. He managed to get the car back on the track, and he's managed to keep hold of the lead.
Whoa, that was a photo finish.
And that was Azri and Azrael. They were battling all throughout the race, and it looks like they managed to get themselves through the pit stops in 10th and 11th position. That was a nail-biter.
Azrael and Colin Chia, I think.
Colin Chia.
Oh, yeah.
Right. I do apologize, ladies and gentlemen. I was so used to Azrael Leslie fighting with Azri that I forgot that was Colin Chia. So I do apologize. That battle for 11th and 12th position was quite entertaining indeed. Shami Aizan comes across in 18th position.
Okay, Azlan Manap, he won the Sportsmanship Award for round 3.
So there we have it. The Sportsmanship Award winner Aslan Manap, he won that in the previous round 3, so he's done very well for himself up there. Akid Basaram, he's had a real roller coaster of the race. He was all over the field. At one point he was in 11th, I believe, but he'll be happy with 21st position and a nice clean race for himself. And as the little bit of a second-hand looking car there, perhaps that's why. But in any case, that was an absolute nail-biter. Now we're just going to have a quick look at the race results. These are provisional, of course. And in first position for Android King SSAD, Saiful Arifin, followed by Kavita Singh for SRE Racing Team A, and Ahmad Norazam for Outer House FCR Performance. Wicket Low is in fourth, followed by Tamizu Yusuf, Faiz Azlan, Tuku Izan, Lay, Lloyd Lachlan, Dominic Ang, and Shami Azri.
So because the cars are just lining up to take the, to go for their photo shoot. Of course, it's customary that they do this at the end of every race. It just goes to show how closely knit the community is, and this is just such an amazing thing to see. And they are in fact doing it under the Firestone Bridge, which is somewhere around the first sector of the circuit. Yep, some cars, maybe even driving reverse.
So the usual photo shenanigans. Half the guys are trying to get a nice photo for themselves, and some of the other guys will be trying to do big burnouts, donuts, and a bit of shuntage happening underneath the iconic Firestone Bridge there. And yeah, I'm pretty sure Michael will be down there as well, fighting his way through. We have a few other cars there.
Okay, let's go on to their rooms. Okay, we have our we have Paduka first here. Okay, hi Paduka. Macam mana race tadi?
Hi. Okay, race tadi mula mungkin agak baik. So, ada insiden yang menyebabkan kita terpaksa full course yellow, di mana ada beberapa kenderaan yang terlibat dalam insiden di corkscrew. So kita panggil lah safety car keluar. So, yang selainnya kita cuba monitor juga. Ada beberapa insiden yang kita dapat lihat ada beberapa pemain yang masih lagi ignore pasal blue flag apa semua, dan kita terus ambil tindakan. Beberapa tindakan kita dapat ambil. Selebihnya kita menantikan protes. Jika ada protes, ya, apa-apa pun, ya, good race pada hari ini. Seperti yang kita jangkakan, macam saya lah menjangkakan ada beberapa player yang tidak disangka-sangka move ke atas. Dia dapat mendominasi top 10 di atas ataupun top 20. Ni semua kau nampak ni muka-muka baru lah, yang sebelum ni tak pernah dilihat berada di position yang sekarang ni.
So, adakah ni bermakna yang saingan dia semakin ketat dan semakin bersih?
Yep, betul. Saingan semakin tambah menarik, dan yang kita nampak kat sini adalah di mana persaingan tu mula nampak jelas lah. So sebelum ni kita nampak yang top 10 beza millisecond. Sekarang ni top 20 beza millisecond. So maknanya bertambah benda tu, jadi bertambah. So mungkin next akan jadi top 30 millisecond beza. So kalau semua 41 sampai nombor 30 pun stay buat 141. So okay, laju lah. So memang kira mencabar lah, laju dan juga dia fight lah kat situ kan. Beza millisecond ni memang fight lah.
Okay, kita ada Michael Hafiz dalam Discord kita ni. Okay, hai Michael.
Hai, Assalamualaikum semua.
So bagi sepatah dua kata macam mana race tadi. Tadi top 10 tu.
Tadi dah dapat sekejap top 10, lepas tu ada slow down sikit, lepas tu masuk pit dan kena potong lah waktu pit in tu. Race kali ni untuk Macil agak clean, tak ada accident. Mungkin ada tadi terlanggar sikit siapa ya, tapi bukan langgar teruk lah. So touch bontot je, so kita tolak dia lah actually yang tu. Best gila sial.
tapi hari ni tak dengar suara
tak dengar
hari ni tak dengar Michael. Suara Michael tak keluar hari ni. Orang panggil-panggil pun dia diam je.
Tak, dia tak masuk Discord ni tadi. Dia Discord Torab The Sport.
Dia ada bilik
Jadi
sendiri.
fokus lah.
Okay, nak suruh tarik Ilham masuk sini. Ilham ada lagi kat sana kan? Dia mic dia on tak tadi?
Tadi mic dia on. Sekejap kena check
Tak
dia.
apa. Aku tarik.
Ada.
Aku try tarik dia sekejap
Alright.
Sekejap, tak pun kita ramai-ramai masuk bilik Todak Motorsports. Jom guys, Todak Motorsports room.
Okay.
Hai Ilham. Hello Ilham. Apa jadi tadi? Aduh.
Itulah technical difficulties kan. Nak macam mana?
What happened actually? Daripada top 5 tadi start P berapa? P2 P berapa?
P4.
P4.
Starting P4. Lepas tu naik entah top 10 kot, lebih kurang macam tu lah, tak ingat. Lepas tu tiba-tiba internet terputus.
Terputus.
Dia disconnected. Okay. Sayang.
Apa betul lah.
Dia kena masuk Unifi.
Adakah tu salah satu kira apa, macam yalah kalau kata orang dulu ni, kalau kita turunkan ilmu pada anak murid, dia guru tu dah hilang dia punya power.
Saja dia
saja menyakat.
Rasanya tadi siang dia dah bantai direct drive. So bila malam dia bawa dia punya rig, mungkin apa dia dah dia tune dia lari sikit.
Macam toy.
So dia punya penyudah dia kena order satu. Seru. Minta
Kalau macam tu kena minta sponsor lah kalau tu. Ataupun team owner tu.
Okay, dalam grup kita ni ada Muhaimin juga Muhaimin macam mana tadi? Tadi rasanya dalam top half kan?
Betul.
Betul apa jadi?
Ada tadi 4 wide kot sebelum cut screw tu.
Muhaimin last kali tadi habis nombor berapa ni?
20 berapa Pak? Tak pasti. 20 lebih.
27.
Yes.
So dia benda tu jadi lap awal lah.
Lap awal, lepas 9 macam tu.
Okay.
Ramai-ramai konvoy.
Ni nampak battle dengan ni siapa ni? Ni battle dengan Jap. Battle box.
Blue flag kot.
Blue flag. Okay. So apa-apa pun tanya habiskan race semua. Kita akan beransur ke bilik SSAD Go Racing. Let's go.
Right.
Boleh terima lagi lah.
Hi guys, kita live sekarang.
Aduh.
Okay.
Okay, so dalam SSAD Go Racing we have the most performing finisher is Wicked Low. Hi Wicked.
Hello.
So how was your race today?
Today was pretty lucky lah, but and unlucky at the same time. To be honest.
It's okay. It's part of racing. So I guess other people has misfortunes today also.
Yeah.
Like Ilham got disconnected from top 5 and he went and he couldn't finish the race.
Right.
Yeah, many factors. So any other comments you would like to give?
Yeah. Today was a pretty good race for me, but then was unfortunate on my side because I had some contact from other cars. So I would like to let you guys know that just drive carefully.
Yeah, that's good advice. Always give room to the and check your relatives.
Yes. Just try not to rush yourself into diving and stuff. Yeah. So everybody wants to have a safe race. Like feels like an actual race car driving on track. Yeah. So,
okay, congratulations on P4.
Thank
We
you so
also have in this group Afizul Jai. Are you there? Jai, dengar tak?
Dengar.
Tadi shock tengok tadi mula-mula kat atas. Apa jadi?
Habis minyak.
Habis minyak.
Alamak.
Sikit lagi.
Lap berapa?
Last lap.
Oh. Tadi dah top 5 kan?
Saja je mencuba
fuel saving.
Strategi yang berbeza. So tersalah calculation, tapi good experience lah.
Good. Okay. So
Sebab kita ada communicate. So bila kita bawa cool, kita punya tendency nak buat mistake sangat rendah lah. Kalau orang yang sprint all the time tu nampak risky lah. Banyak ada orang terbabas, accident apa semua.
Tadi Jai ada fight dengan Macam juga kan?
Tadi macam aku bawa super cool mode.
Untuk save minyak
Yes.
Okay. Itu yang dapat ada lupa Jai kat depan. Oi Jai.
Tapi memang kita strict on the diet. So macam bukan Madrid.
Sebab apa Jai nak save minyak kan? Cik pun tadi pun
kalau boleh macam tadi semua corner aku nak ambil G5.
Ya, tengok pace kau memang laju waktu qualifying tadi kan.
Tak apa, pengalaman yang berharga, seronok.
Okay, terima kasih bagi feedback. Okay, dalam grup ni kita ramai sebenarnya. Okay, kita cari kita punya team punya owner lah, Mr. Rashid Raidel. Ada apa-apa feedback nak bagi hari ni? Habis nombor berapa bang?
Dia dah balik.
Uncle Acid.
Apa ni? Dia dah parking kat sini ni.
Very unfortunate lah hari ni. Abang, I started P31. And then at one time sampai P10. Dan lepas tu masa nak pit in, nak pit in, dan ada pula yang mungkin terlanggar lah kot, dah kena disqualify, kena DQ. So kena drive through. So okey lah.
Oh, kena incident point tinggi.
Masuk kamera kancil tadi kan?
Ya, tapi nasib tak baik lah.
Apa bang, nanti kita buat live talk macam mana nak handle proximity. Kalau orang dekat-dekat ni apa patut kita buat dan apa yang patut kita bagi kat orang kan. So benda-benda ni boleh dielakkan kan bang, betul tak?
Sangat boleh dielakkan. Sangat boleh dielakkan. Lagi-lagi bila yellow flag, bila when the safety car comes in kan. So benda tu satu juga. Tak apalah.
Okay, thanks for the feedback. Dalam grup ni kita ada seorang newbie. Nama dia tapi tak newbie dalam real world. Faizal Alang, tapi dia mic dia off. Dia dengar tak ni katanya? Dia mute, dia mute.
Faizal Alang, bukalah mute tu.
Okay, dia ada. Jap aku nak kuatkan sikit volume kau. So this is the third race ke second race kau masuk?
Third.
So apa perasaan dengan iRacing ni sebenarnya?
Tapi sebenarnya nak cakap pasal third race ni, rasanya third race ni rasa yang first part racing yang terbaik rasanya. Sebab aku start kat belakang tau, dekat PN3 tau aku start. So qualifying tak bagus, banyak traffic. Lepas tu sampai lepas Afrika tu aku dekat 19 position. And then aku buat satu silly mistake dekat turn berapa aku lupa dah. And then blue flag, aku elak blue flag punya pasal nak elak orang, tak nak langgar orang, lalu aku disqualify, banyak sangat point.
Nampak tadi boy bising dekat last turn, sebelum last turn tadi kan?
Nak elak orang sebab dapat blue flag, tak nakkan kena ni, tak nak kacau race orang. Tapi lain dapat banyak sangat point, dia disqualify. Tapi best.
Jap, aku nak kacau nak kacau my chill ni. My chill kau nombor berapa?
Habis nombor, come on lah, kita top city.
Patutlah bising sangat.
Itu dia.
Tanya.
Kalau kalah pun bising juga.
Congrats. Okay.
Okay, thank you team SSAD bagi feedback. Ada sesiapa lagi nak bagi feedback dalam grup ni? Abang Azril ada dalam sini juga. Okay.
Ada. Saya boleh dengar suara saya ke?
Boleh. Jelas.
Okay.
So ada apa-apa nak bagi feedback?
Saya tak ada apa-apa, cuma kesian dekat Abang Rashid lah, mengkolek penalty point tanpa kehendak beliau lah.
Senasib kita bang.
Jadi penalty point tu ada bagus atau tak bagus, sebab tu saya dah katakan dekat dalam Discord SSAD supaya jarakkan kereta time yellow flag. Memang kena jarakkan kereta lah. Nanti sebab dah kena kan yang sebelum ni race masa yang dekat mana sebelum ni kan yang semua orang collect yellow apa ni collect SR kan masa yellow flag. Jadi itu je lah kot saya punya komen. Overall on my part the race is very good, semua orang ada pace, so racecraft is good there. Orang yang klik pun kurang. I think it's very very good host malam ni 46 kereta kan? 46 kan?
47 rasanya.
47.
So next week rasa dia kena double check lah dekat next week.
I duk cari juga dekat info track punya limit kat mana kan. Okay,
I rasa kita tukar kepada Daytona lah. Takut ramai yang tak boleh masuk kan.
Kena track yang panjang baru boleh ramai masuk. Okay, dalam grup ni kita dah invite masuk Syamil Aizan dengan Syaril Norafuddin sekali. So Syamil dengan Malvin sekali. Syamil Aizan, apa jadi? What happened?
Apa jadi? I think dekat first lap last turn I think Dominic touch belakang I lah. So spun lah. So spun, I just drop I think dekat nombor 11 ke nombor 12 lah. And then try to catch up. Pun lap ke-12 first lap dia langgar dengan Lloyd kot.
Lloyd Milolin.
McLaughlin.
Lolin.
Melasah je.
Aku silap meja tu.
And then masa dia langgar tu ada kena DQ lah, kena apa
Black flag.
Drive through penalty more than 15 kan.
Yes,
dive through and then I think towards lagi 10 minutes to finish, masa yang curb last second corner tu ada curb tinggi tu. I langgar curb tu, so I punya engine fluid bocor lah, engine leak.
Damage
lah, mechanical damage.
Sam bocor.
Sam bocor lah, so kena towing lah. Kena towing lah habis lah.
Kena pakai sambal.
Tapi it was a best race saya main, intense race ni.
The damage and the penalty will draw your punya rambut hilang lah. It's very stressful.
Yes, very stressful race ni. So I finish nombor apa tak ingat, nombor 18 kot ke 19 itu?
18. Congratulations lah top 20 lah.
Syamil. Michael finish berapa?
Itu tak payah baca lah.
Aku dah cuti lah.
Target man.
Kau kena tahu aku tanya kau tu kenapa. Pasal tadi bila orang tanya dia tolong jawab, dia finish 18. Michael tolong jawab, kau finish 18. Jadi aku tanya kau lah, Michael finish berapa?
Tapi kan split sekarang.
Carry kan, aku carrying.
Tengok split sekarang 12 sampai naik tu.
Satu masa dia nombor 8 kot.
Michael sampai nombor 8 nombor 9 tadi Cel.
Nombor 8.
Kenapa?
Lepas tu
Masuk pit.
Masuk pit. Waktu masuk pit tu pun nombor 9 sini. Lepas tu masuk pit kena potong aku entry tu slow. Aku pandai masuk pit kan. Takut terlebih.
Ni dah nombor
kau tu jauh lagi. Aduh, badai. Apalah, pengalaman.
Pengalaman lah. Kena sok orang.
Aku tengok apa yang box tu, Kimi 5 saat. Lepas tu 4 saat, 3.8 saat je kan dah dekat.
Last lap last 2 lap
Bukan last 2 lap.
Dia post berapa tadi Phil? Position berapa tadi? 9
Fight
9 naik 16.
Fight
9 naik 16.
Starting 30 berapa, dia 36 kot.
Okay. We have Kalvinder Singh in the house.
Hi bro.
Okay.
So Kalvinder, how was it?
P3 ya?
Kalvinder.
P2, I don't know what happened to Farid. Tiba-tiba he slow down and he said he got some problem with the car. Tak tahu kenapa tiba-tiba.
Oh ya, P2.
Screw there, he did some funny business.
Screw, okay, I went on the outside. And then, okay, like this, right? When you want to take a turn, a sharp 90-degree turn, you're on the outside, the floor on the inside. So, going for the overtake, then I want to go for the crisscross, tapi he braked very late, he appeared right in front of me. I'm like, okay, couldn't avoid.
That's one of the unique problems.
Kevin, aku nak tanya sikit lah.
Apa dia?
Masuk finish line tadi tu, last lap tu, kau memang slow down ke?
Tak ada.
Sebab aku habis minyak.
Kau isi berapa liter weh? Sen?
0.3.
Ha?
Aduh.
0.3.
Ni. This one.
Dah masuk pit tu Ben.
Mana
Kejap gila 0.3.
jap. Let me see the.
Tengok
Why
onboard
I hear-
dengan indicator.
Kenapa dia
Memang dah sengguh-sengguh dah.
So Ipin aka Saiful Arifin, apa perasaan menang race ni pada kali ni?
Alamak, first time race ni kan. First time menang kan. Selalu nombor 2, nombor 3.
Kita sambil tolong menolong.
Aduh. Kurang seronok dapat P1 tapi macam kurang excitement sikit sebab tak ada battle kan.
Laju sangat ni.
Selalu shock main battle lah.
Ni habis minyak ni.
Dia habis minyak.
Oh, sengguk-sengguk.
Cuma dia agak ombak.
Lepas tu saya tertekan clutch.
Boss, I'll be back ya. I head off first.
Okay, thank you Wehan. Thank you very much for the commentaries.
Thanks a lot for taking over for me at the start there. Really
sure thing, man.
appreciate it.
I'm glad you made it safely, man.
Alright. Thanks Wehan.
Are you guys having a post-race meeting later on?
Yeah, we will be doing. If you're still not sleeping, you can join the meeting room.
Yeah, that'll be in half an hour, right?
Yeah, around that lah. We have to have a after party first.
Alright. I'll come join you again in half an hour's time. Just catch up with my dad.
See you guys.
Yeah,
Okay. Alright.
Thank you Rehan.
Bye. Thanks. Thank you everyone.
So, okay, siapa lagi dalam ni?
Syaril. Mana Syaril?
Nak komplain pasal Maicil.
Aduh.
Dah habis race dia langgar, so gambar jadi tak cantik lah.
Dah terbalik dia langgar.
Okay.
Tapi tak apa, aku tolong dia.
Okay, so kita ada protes. So maksudnya Maicil kena buat Photoshop cantik.
Oh yeah.
Itu penalty dia.
Cuba buktikan mana?
Fight.
Melvin. What happened, Melvin? Today? Melvin tak ada.
Melvin.
What?
So, kita ada viewer daripada California. Jet Ibarra Chen.
Wow.
Seriously?
Ibarra Chen.
And then from
I hope you like the race that we've had here in Laguna Seca. It's been a lot of fun. Hope you guys down there in California are having a good time. We know you're having a bit of a hard time with the virus and all the rest of it. So from all of us here in Asia, a special good luck to you guys, and hopefully you guys can pull through it,
Baik, kita dah okey Mas Ali.
PR sikit.
Tak halu.
Okay, kita nak end the stream tapi kenduri ni masih ada lagi. We will leave Matthew Palmer untuk bagi closing speech sikit.
Alright, a special thanks to all of you guys who've been watching us over the course of this race. We've had a lot of fun. Hope you guys have had fun as well. Another special thanks to our sponsors, Works Engineering, Lucas Oil, Oregon Engineering, Stream.my, Simology, Pico Media, Sim Racing Enthusiast, Todak Motorsports, and Inter Formula. And all that remains for me to say is thanks to our director, Carol Alang, to Chan Wei-han, who has done a fantastic job deputizing for me at the last minute. I had to have a quick run back from the circuit to try and get here in time, so special thank you to him. And special thank you to all our drivers. Say hi, guys.
Hi, thank you. Congratulations.
Alrighty then, my name's been Matthew Palmer, and we will see you on the next one. Ta-ra!
Ta-ra! Bye!
Hi, I'm Matt from Interformula, and welcome to our Research and Development Centre. We do all forms of research and development, all the way from designing and developing our own race cars to simulators to running cars in racing series and rallying all over the world. We also do a lot in the Asian Classic Car Championship, so do look out for us. For any information, do contact us with the number down below.